I was flying through this sea of stars. I was no longer Bill, and I was not a person. And being a person, looking back, it was kind of a drag. And after that, everything changed. There was some kind of upgrade that went on. We came here to be ignorant and to be in fear and to get control of those emotions. The last couple of years, this whole thing, you could feel it changing. And I think what's coming is contact, open contact with interdimensional beings.
Do you think if the higher your vibration, you attract positive entities or light beings?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. With me, you said the last couple of years, this whole thing, you could feel it changing.
Mm.
And I think what's coming is contact, open contact with interdimensional beings. And I know that sounds ridiculous,
No, it
but
doesn't.
our ancestors called them gods or things like that. And when I sit still, and it only takes a minute or two, there is a three-dimensional form in front of me. If I look at a blank wall, and they're looking back, and they're incredibly high vibration. They look like everything you can imagine on the internet. There's just like a Vegas showgirl. Just this spray of like anything you do with AI, where these higher beings, that's exactly what they look like. Beautiful young faces, and they're just smiling, and they're really happy, and that's what I see. I don't have any downtime. And if I do, I catch myself, and I say, I'm not going there. Uh,
Is it your
not gonna,
thoughts that will lead you to the downtime?
pardon me?
Is it your perhaps when you find yourself in downtime and you lift yourself straight out of it, is it your thoughts that accidentally take you there?
Yeah, if you like, I went up the roadways, got on the freeway, and went up the roadways, and got a gate for our property, and this guy was merging on, and he was just furious. He was just furious that uh, he wanted to go a certain speed, and he had to fit in. He had to get behind people and stuff, and he took off down the shoulder, just weaving in and out all the lanes, out of his mind, crazy. And I told myself, you let him go. He's got a lot of problems.
Yeah.
And you could see most of the people on the roadway were just slowed down, and they pulled over and let him go. Um, you don't have to fix him. You don't have to react to him. It's going to get a whole lot worse. It's going to get a whole lot worse. It's just what the cleansing is all about. And so, yeah. But there's a part of me that says, man, that's not cool, and wants to do something about it. But I don't want to do anything about it anymore. I'm not here to fix anybody.
Mm.
Here to fix myself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's we all are, aren't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you talk about this, the veil being lifted. I mean, I guess it's, yeah, like you said, there's Kali Yoga that's we're going into a new phase. And another term I've heard is that, we as a human race, there was a contract for a certain amount of thousands of years, and now it's over. All right, this
that's right.
contract is over. So what do you see happening with the veil lifting? What do you see? How would you put that in this sort of earthly terms?
You can see it on the internet. They talk about the world is splitting, and it's going in two different directions.
3D, 5D.
That's right. That's right. And this 5D thing is the light, and we all of us are getting a choice right now. We're all getting a choice. Which way do you want to go? And a lot of people will have no idea that they're even given a choice. They're just stuck in this, you know, thing, and my political party this, and this is the problem, and we got to get these guys, and the dang Trump guy, and
Mm,
whatever names you want to put to it. um, they're just going to stay there. um, and then there's a lot of people I think we're two of them, who figured out you've got a lot of ability to direct your reality, and you can choose in every moment. You can choose which way you're going to go. And right now it's the people that are in the middle that haven't, you know they're looking for answers. That's the people you're serving.
mm,
Your podcast, they're looking for answers. And um so yeah, there's a split coming. And the Christians or the Baptists, they called it rapture. uh you've heard of this, where
yes, yes.
they're putting videos out now where bunch of people in a bus, and half the people in the bus all of a sudden disappear. But the clothes are still there, this rapture thing. And I don't think it's going to be instantaneous like that, but it's the same story. Um, People are going two different directions, and that might mean, like my frequency is. I mean, I'm vibrating. If I um, wanted to show you, I mean, this whole area right here is just like pulsing. And my neck. If I sit still, you can see it. I've got this pulsing. And Joe Dispenza talks about this Kundalini energy rising.
Hmm.
Um, and his classes on Gaia, he is that is Kundalini yoga without him telling you that. And that thing you did with the breath,
Mm,
that's Kundalini yoga. You're moving the energy up, and that's ancient stuff. It works. You even uh, said it worked. You had this amazing experience.
mm.
And I hope you leave that in. You said edit, you were going to
Yeah,
edit out. I wouldn't edit that out at all. That's gold,
yeah.
um, for your listeners. But yeah, this energy is coming up, and at some point, the physical body isn't going to be able to handle it, I think. And um, Dolores Cannon talks about that. She she says this 5D thing, um, that this group is going to leave. And she doesn't say it very often, but I heard her say it once. And she said, for the people that are still here, they'll just say, oh, well, they died. And, you know, uh, poor son of a gun, they never did, you know, reach that light that they wanted. They never did this 5D thing, but that's exactly what they did do. They vibrated out of this place to where their body couldn't hold them anymore.
Mm,
And I think you're going to see a lot of that. People will, I don't know how it'll play out exactly, but just seeing a lot of people dying is, a lot of good people dying is a sign that that's probably happened.
mm. I guess it's like the great metaphor, I would say, of Revelations, isn't it? Where those take the mark of the beast, stay here, and the rest will be lifted, to the hand of God. I guess there's so many similar stories, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah. But as a near-death experiencer, and as a ayahuasca drinker, and as a deep meditator, those are, we can talk about those three guys in a minute. But I've been all three, and uh leaving here is not a bad thing.
No.
It it it, it really isn't. This is, I mean, we're kind of in a really challenging place. And we don't die. You're still you. You become this uh perfect version of yourself. And we go on. We never end. So
What do you think about leaving those you love? That's my only mild concern, is that I won't teach my kids enough in the time. So I want to give them as much information as I can to make them strong, and you know?
Yeah, they're never we're never gone. Um,
Mm,
I lost I've I'm an old guy. I lost my parents a few years ago. But I like when I go to bed at night, when I close my eyes, I am on and I'm elsewhere.
yeah.
And there's these things called the afterlife party, and it's like a formal dinner party, and everybody's so happy to see you. And I see my parents at those all the time. My mom is young and she's always laughing. She's like you said, that whole laughing thing.
Mm,
I'll see her at the dinner table and I'll be, I don't know, cracking jokes, and she'll just be laughing and laughing. And what I get is, boy, we had quite a time. Um, because we had a lot of excitement with the family, and there's addiction in my family and stuff. And so we had quite a bit when my mom was dying, just these scenes. And she was laughing at all of it. Um, I tell my siblings, because they all got all this guilt and stuff, and I tell them, man, she doesn't care. Just drop it. Everything's fine.
mm.
Um, Everything always was fine. We're just in this place where we prove that we've got this goodness. We prove it to ourselves and to that universe that's always watching, that collective consciousness. The eyeball at the top of the pyramid.
Yeah.
That's that's the universe. This conscious um, collective of souls that's watching all of us all the time. And so back to what you were saying, the relative thing. Our ancestors, our parents, our friends are around us all the time. They're checking in. They're showing up when you've got a big challenge coming or something. They all gather. And when I look in a blue sky, to me it's like a snow globe, all this glitter flying around. And sometimes one will come shooting down and kind of hover in front of you and then shoot away. And these are souls that are friends, family. They're not in a body, and we'll join them whenever we do, and we'll all laugh about it.
So, having said that, I've heard you say, and others say, that we signed a soul contract to come here. And, my question to you is, do you believe it's all, we've signed this contract of certain challenges along the way and it's up to us to ascend through it? Or do you believe we can alter our path by the decisions we choose?
I'm not somebody who remembers a soul contract. There's a lot of people out there. I don't
Right.
remember doing that. But one thing that happens to me is I am before this council. It's had a big table, and sometimes I'm on a podium or something, and they're all sitting there taking notes, and they're all very uh, serious, and sometimes they laugh, but they're never judging. I never see anybody angry, and but I see them neutral, and I see them approving, and I see them laughing. But uh, yeah, there's something going on with this council of elders or something that we're answering to on the other side. And I sometimes I'm clowning around, and they just look kind of like not ticked off or anything, but sort of like, all right, you're gonna have to get serious because this is we're doing some real work here.
Mm.
And I get it, and then I get serious. Um, but we're all at these tables all the time. This soul group that's following us or something. We're all being reviewed, and we come back, but we remember it. Um, but yeah, I'm having these things, some sort of elevated frequency or something, where when I go to bed at night, I remember it, and in the morning, I remember everything. I remember the smells and the touches,
Wow.
and I'll go to bed the next night, and I'm back in that same mission. We all hook up and we're off doing something, and it never ends. We're always involved, but this place is really hard. It's really hard and heavy, and we've got all these questions and all this anxiety over what's going on and what's going to happen. And but on the other side, we don't have any of those low vibrations. We're just we're just doing things.
Mm, just pure love.
Pure love. Yeah, there's that movie, and like you said, a lot of stuff's in these movies, but there's this movie called Cabin in the Woods, and it's like a horror movie. It's like a slasher movie, and these kids are taken to this they go to this cabin, and then they're taken through. There's these high-tech facility behind the scenes that's taken them through all these horrors, these monsters, and the story that I get at the end is that we're here, literally, we're here to sacrifice and to suffer and to be good with it, to understand who we really are, what we really are, and none of it's serious, and to disassociate with those low vibrational reactive energies, and then we move on. Um, but yeah, that suffering and sacrifice, you look at the cross, the Jesus on the cross, that's a man sacrifice and suffering, and that's representing us, this Christ consciousness.
Mhm.
We are supposed to get to a place where we think and behave like him from a place of love, and then we get to leave.
Yeah, I'm really fascinated by the Christ consciousness, and I've recently heard it being put in a way of it's actually a metaphor for the body. So Christ is your chrism, that we bring the fluid up to the temple. Apparently it happens monthly. This I don't know what you call it.
This oil of Christ or
Yeah,
crystal
yeah. It
off.
comes up the Kundalini to our temple. It stays there for 3 days, which is the same as what he was. It's just interesting, isn't it? And then it comes back down, and so it's all there for us, mapped out, really, isn't it?
I think that's a Christian story. I think it's a Christian story for Kundalini, where a Hindu will
Yes.
use the word Kundalini. But I can, if you're thinking about that stuff, I can tell you that that is absolutely true. What's going on with me is ridiculous. With the blissfulness and the energy that, um, if that whole thing with we have our in our root chakra, we have our reproductive system, and from that vibration and frequency, we have this incredible pleasure. Um, and that, I've said it every time that when I was out of my body, it felt like a cosmic orgasm,
Yeah.
and it just kept going. And that's what we come from. That is abundance, love. And we carry it, that Kundalini energy is wrapped around the base of our spine. And when it awakens, which I think happened after my uh, near-death experience, it started to move. I mean, my spine literally was shaking. And it happened over several years. It would return, and I'd have this shaking spine thing, and it went all the way. So that energy that we have when we fall in love and uh, demonstrate it, um, that moves up our spine and it goes out through our crown chakra and our third eye. And if you just sit still for a second and let it set up, you have this this bliss that is running through all your chakras, and it's crippling. I mean, it's so powerful. It's like a bliss seizure, and you have to bring yourself back. You have to
Mm.
say, okay, I need to feed the dogs, and
Yeah.
but you can stay there for hours, and you don't want to reanimate Bill. You just
Yeah.
want to keep going. You just want to keep going out of here and up. Um, so yeah, that Kundalini energy, that happened to me. It reconnected years ago, and it's just gotten stronger. I keep doing these things, with sunshine and how I eat, and I keep raising my vibration, and it just keeps going. So yeah, you're right. That I'm glad you got a lot of good information.
Oh,
I'm glad
thank you.
you put that Christ oil thing because there's a couple of guys that talk about it, and one of them is Jim Carrey. He's got
Yes,
a
I've seen that.
and then there's this other guy. He's like an Italian guy who's just got this. He tells the story like about this Christoph and this oil and
Christoph, that was the name I was trying to think of. Yes.
yeah, and how it moves up the spine and then it gets in this circular thing and then I'm like, he's talking. The Hindus say the same stuff, but they call it Kundalini and they talk about energy moving instead of fluid moving and um, but no matter what you call it, we at some point we all uh, initiate. You've heard this, initiates. We self-initiate by seeking, and then it that's what the other side wants us to genuinely go deep, look inside,
Mm.
and once we become convinced, it's like I mean, I remember the night it happened because I was seeing people's faces would change. I'm seeing past lives, um, seeing this twirling energy in the sky, this purple and green that's orchestrating this place. And I remember going to sleep and saying, I am so grateful that all of this has happened. And I wasn't using any of the known terms. I was just talking to the other side, and I was like, I am so grateful, and my schedule is clear. Whatever you need from me, I'm your man. And from now on, I'm devoted to the divine because I know you're there, and I appreciate everything. And mm, eh, I started seeing right then. I started seeing this star came down in the sky, and it was really bizarre. And but after that, everything changed, and this Kundalini energy uh, is absolutely real. And all we have to do is um, they're waiting for us to
Yeah.
look inside. And that's the whole world is going to be slowed down to where everybody has to look inside because the answers will not be out, on our screens and stuff. All that stuff's going to fold up and go away. Religion and science and what we thought was our history. It's going to be, the contact's going to be so overwhelming. Um, these gods are going to return, these multidimensional beings. Um, It'll be in the news soon, the next year or two. Um, and you'll just go, all right, there they are. Cool.
Yeah.
But most of the world's going to go, what the hell?
There is a lot of chitter chatter, I think. I'll tell you that in a moment, but there's a lot of chitter chatter in the media right now about beings. And I notice they're just placing little dots here and there
Yep.
to neuro-linguistic program you. Do you know what I mean? For what's coming, I believe. That's what I keep seeing because it's not headline news. It's just little, oh, I see. I see. They're just, do you think?
Well, you're really super good at reading um, the room.
Hmm.
And like I said, there is no evil. Um, we're here. We signed up for a really rough go with fear. And it's we've been at the game a long time, so we don't remember home
Mm.
mostly. And the game right now is set at the highest setting, the most difficult setting uh,
Right.
for, for fear. And, um, there are, um, like, this is a stage, and the guys that I saw, those little guys, they're like stage hands. they're making sure we all get the ride we signed up for. And then there's like stage managers, and we have names for them like elites or royals or whatever. Um, but yeah, they've got their job to do, and the job is that we all get the fear that we signed up for, and but there is sweetness and understanding and compassion and kindness, and you're seeing the um, breadcrumbs. And if you open yourself up, you can see the breadcrumbs, and you get some peace from that, right? You're like, oh, this is being orchestrated. This is coming, um, and I'm not going to be shocked when it arrives here because I'm reading the signs, and it's really cool to watch. I mean, I think you're at the same place that I am, that it's like, okay, I can see this. I can see where this is going,
Mm,
and I'm not going to react when it goes down, um, because I'm getting a feel for what's really going on here.
mm.
Uh,
Yeah, most
we're supposed,
definitely. Oh yeah, I think I heard the greatest quote the other day about fear. I'm sure you've heard it. Is it's false evidence appearing real. That's what
yeah.
fear stands for, and I thought that's beautiful.
Oh,
That's
yeah, that's a good one, acronym. And I
yeah.
heard one the other day from Dolores Cannon. She said, "Fear is for entertainment purposes only."
Oh, that's beautiful.
I
I
thought
love
that
that.
was so funny.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And
Yeah, I
she said
feel.
there,
Sorry,
she
go on.
said there is no, she goes, when you leave here, there is no fear, and you'll laugh about everything you went through. And it's like you went to a movie and watched a scary movie, and it's for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah,
That's
that's.
that's 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 one of those breadcrumbs that's really helpful
Mm,
um, for people. I heard this thing, Alan Watts,
okay.
something I used to say that I heard from Bentoff, and it said the soul is, um, we believe that we have a soul, but it's the other way around. The soul has us,
Yeah.
and we are a car, and then the soul is a driver, and you drive the car and crash it and thrash it, and then you dump it, and the soul gets another car. And um, this guy the other day, Alan Watts, he said we used to think it was a car and we had free will to drive where we want, but he goes, I think it's more like a tram. We're being driven where the higher self wants to go and experience things. And that's interesting. Robert Grant, I heard him say that just recently. He quoted Alan Watts, and he said, it's like a tram, and we're just on the track, and we're going to experience what the higher self has planned out for us." And that really feels like that's real.
Yeah, I feel like that's happening as well. I think I have this urgency to find out though now, and I have to be patient. You know, that's where I find myself. I want all
You
the
have this.
answers now.
I'm going to take a break here, but you have this on the wall behind you. This purple energy keeps coming up. Um,
Really?
that's a really good sign.
Oh,
Purple,
that's
divine energy.
yeah, that's nice.
I'm gonna, um,
I will too.
okay.
Yeah, I could literally talk to you all day, Bill. And you know what? It's funny. I I'll get off this conversation and I'll go to the school to pick up my kids. And I will look around and I'll think, I don't have anyone else to talk to about this. You know, it's like you want to break through to people, but you can't. Do you find that, or are you surrounded with people that are
Oh
understanding?
no, I like talking to you guys.
Yeah,
That's where it happens. And I mean, I get emails um, from people and stuff, but you guys that are putting these podcasts together, you guys are there's something going on with you. And when you started talking about your higher self, directing things. The white walls behind you were this swirling purple. From my perspective, I don't know if it's on the video when it gets done,
Okay.
but from what I saw was this purple that you probably saw me. I kept looking like, what's going on over there? But yeah, your aura, lit up with this divine um, color. So
So perhaps what I'm saying is right for me.
yeah, that's what I would say because it was a big change. So
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's really nice to know. Um,
yeah.
just before I ask you a couple of serious questions about the divine contract and all that sort of thing, I just wanted to share this with you, which I won't put in the edit either. Um, is a couple of years ago, my daughter was about 8 or 9. Me and my partner were trying to figure out was she 8 or 9 when this happened, and he was at work, and I just put her to bed, and she was on a top bunk, and she was in there for no more than 10 seconds. She definitely wasn't asleep when this happened. And she came out to the lounge room and she looked really freaked out. Her face was freaked out. And I said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "Mum, I went into the top bunk and all of the roof turned into space. And then I heard this voice say," now let me get this right. She said, the voice said to her, "The meaning of life is life itself." And she said, then all of the space just went and went back to the roof. And
That's cool.
and she walked out telling me that. And I really didn't know. I sort of suggested that, this was a message for you. I was a little bit shocked myself, because she wasn't dreaming. She'd only been in there 10 seconds, so it wasn't enough time to fall asleep. But I thought, wow, that's a message. That was a message for me as well. Yeah, really interesting. She's definitely tapped into something.
Yeah, that um, the heavens opening up, that's a real thing. It's in those old paintings and stuff, in Italy.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
with the clouds, and the
Yeah.
beings. I had this thing where a few years ago I was going to a conference to talk, and then I was going to start talking about this movie stuff, that these messages are in movies and there's hints out there. And that was my sort of part of my presentation, but nobody was talking like that. Um, and I thought, well, I'm going to, bend the rules or I'm going to freak somebody out and and then I went outside, sleep outside, and I went outside and I was laying down and I had changed it. I said, I'm going to do it. What the hell? Just go for it. They can just not invite me back. I don't care. And so I put the slides together and I talked about this. I forget what movie it was, but where it's just this really obvious signal, good news signal. And I was laying there looking at the sky, and it was like a turning point or something because it was like I'm going to start speaking from my heart and not from what's going to keep people happy or, I'm not going to stay in the lane. I'm not going to stay in my lane anymore. And anyway, the whole sky opened up and there was this giant gold woman and she was perfect. And the whole place everything was shaking like freight train. It was driving over the house. Everything was shaking wildly, and she was super happy, and she was like a giant in the sky, and she was all gold. Her eyes had this weird gold look to them, and she was like a child. She was so happy, and her mouth was moving, and she kept gesturing behind her. She kept going like that, and I was looking. I go, I'm not going to screw this up, and I was looking at her and uh, looking for, okay, what's going on here? And it went on for several seconds and then it just closed. And and I thought, oh, all the deer have run off but nobody heard anything but me. Um, but it was just this overpowering roaring sound. And and after that, my everything changed. Whenever I went to bed now, I had these incredible things happen, these adventures every night, work assignments, it seemed. And I'd wake up in the morning absolutely remembering everything about the other side. And with her doing that, she was like kind of saying there was some kind of upgrade that went on. Either I moved out of that middle astral and got permission to go to the upper astral, or something else. I don't know, but ev my life as far as how much I knew about this place completely changed. It was like, I mean, I wasn't born, a medium or anything like that, but all of a sudden I had this upgrade. So yeah, those things are real.
Mm.
What your daughter experienced, absolutely real. Um, we just don't believe it anymore, but it's in those old paintings that, these multidimensional super beings do interact with us.
Mm. Just on another topic, because I know the world seems a little bit obsessed with this at the moment, and that's the manifestation of things. Do you believe we can manifest our own creation by thought alone?
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. All that stuff that everyone's questioning, how did we get those giant stones, into the pyramids and all these beautiful carvings and this impossible stuff. I think that, we're moving into this out of this carbon-based being, and we're
Mhm.
moving into a crystalline-based, a silica-based. And I think that's something that's happened to you and me in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Uh, this is the change that something's happened to me because the energy's incredibly high. And then we go from the crystalline, the silica based, we'll go into a light based, when we get to a golden age, to where we're basically light beings here on Earth. And that's where that manifestation comes in. You get several light beings together, and they would um, like tap a bell or something, and they would all get the same thought. I think it was like 100 or 200, and they could move these stones with just their intention
Mhm.
and do these impossible things. Um, these cathedrals and stuff, the detail in the carvings and things, it looks almost like somebody's hallucination. It's so detailed, and that's kind of on the same, it's on par with that it's a group hallucination that is manifested into reality.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think that's what we're capable of. We don't know it. We
No.
think we're powerless, single, separate little victims, but we're not. We're pretending to be those things
Yeah.
for lessons.
Yeah. Or for money. I think a lot of people are so focused on money that they lose sight of anything else or ignore or push away any other signs, that are coming to them.
Yeah, I think money is, they're talking about these all these things that are going to crash. I think the whole financial thing's going to crash and we're going to start over, and then money won't be the root of all evil. We'll just be these cooperating um guys that look after each other,
Like,
in
like an
smaller
exchange of
villages.
vibration almost.
That's what I think. Yeah. I think that's where it's going. It'll take centuries, but
Mm.
that's what I think. I think money's going to disappear. That it is the root of evil. That saying isn't popular for no reason.
Yeah,
It's
that's right. And what about this discoveries that they found under the pyramids now? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I started going to the conference on precession and ancient knowledge years ago. I just got in a car and went down to this. And because there's this show called The Pyramid Code by Carmen Bolter. It's a 5-part series, and all the things you and I are talking about uh, were known in ancient civilizations, going back to Atlantis and all that stuff is real, magical. And back then there was this guy, Dr. Robert Schoch, and he had some sort of ground penetrating radar that he was using there on the Giza Plateau. And when no one was looking, he tiptoed over to the Sphinx and fired that thing around the Sphinx. And he found something under the left paw, um, a room full of um, mysteries that will be um, shown to us soon. And and then Robert Grant, he found a room above the King's Chamber in the Great Pyramid. Same kind of thing, this penetrating radar. And like you were saying earlier, there's these little tidbits out there, and that this thing about this giant superstructure underneath the pyramid goes down forever. Another tidbit,
Mm.
and what we're being led back to is the wisdom of ancient knowledge.
Mhm.
And it'll come out, and it's all planned out. It's all scripted. We're in a movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Are you referring to the halls of Amente, which is I've only just recently been into this. The is it sort of the
Dar
records, the soul records?
Darius Wright,
Yes, yeah.
yeah, he travels and he goes amazingly far, and just
I think
um
Billy Carson also mentions it.
right.
Yeah, but I have listened to Darius. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a name for it, but it was maybe that was it's a room underneath the left paw of the Sphinx. And there's another one in Belize underneath a temple. And I was living down there in Costa Rica, and you have to go up this river, and it's really like dangerous and stuff. And I'm like, let's go check it out, And my friends are like, you're crazy. But if I was younger, I'd probably, go poke around down there and see if you can. But it's all, it's all coming into the light, and it's gonna come in at um, its own speed. Uh, I went to that conference on precession and ancient knowledge, and several times. And last year, it was about a year and a half ago, um, certain people you listen to, they seem to um, be a little more informed or something. But around the chow line, in the morning around the coffee, there'd be this little buzz going, um, the time, and this was actually the quotes, the time for secrets has passed, and the veil is being lifted. And, kind of like in the chow line, spread the word, spread the word. The veil is being lifted. And I'm like, Man, these guys have never talked like this before. And, and then all of a sudden, all these podcasts started with this ancient knowledge. Um, and the one I like is Wise Quotes. They just got all this stuff about uh, Hermeticism and, Gnostic uh, wisdom, esoteric stuff, Rosicrucians, Freemasons, how all these secrets are sort of wrapped up in their, um, you know, those programs. And there, we've been talking about, I know you're looking at these podcasts, and they're kind of exploded like a year ago.
Mm.
And and then June and July of last year, something crazy happened. It was like eclipse with a blue moon, and they were doubling up, and a lot of people were having, I was having all kinds of issues with energy, health issues with energy and stuff. And then it happened again in March. March has been crazy.
Mm.
Um, it's just, um, it was, there was a lunar eclipse combined with a full blood moon. and followed by a solar eclipse a week later. And the internet, all these things are just telling us what these things all mean. And I was at a dinner party, and there somebody says like, "Well, how you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing pretty good, but I got this all of a sudden I got this vibration, and they're like, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Well, just look at my face, and like my nostrils are going wah 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 wah, and my neck's doing this." And they're like, "That's crazy." And I said, "Well, I've had it for a long time, but now it's like it's ramped up." And um, I said, about half the people in the world are feeling it, and it's just this increased energy. And then I said, where you have trouble sleeping, and half the people at the party go, "Oh my God, I didn't sleep at all last night." And I'm like, that's what that's how you're feeling it. And, people are reacting differently. And all of a sudden they're looking at me differently. They're like, "Oh, wait, how did you?" I said, "I'm not, this stuff's coming through the front door with me. There's no veil at all. There's no question at all. Here it comes, energy coming down the walls, waves. Um, but most people don't see it or feel it, but there are people that aren't sleeping,
Yeah.
during some of these events. And they're like, "What do you know about it?" And I said, "Well, it's, I was a fireman, so whenever there was a full moon, we were up all night because people are running on in the streets crazy."
Mm.
Um, and they said that that blood moon with the combined with the lunar eclipse was 50 times as strong as a full moon.
Wow.
And everybody felt it at some level. Everybody felt it.
Yeah. I feel like we're coming out of Mercury retrograde at the moment. And I felt that very strongly. It's been every single communication or technical difficulties has just been so strong in the last 3 weeks. And I was
Right.
reading that they say that this is actually one of the most challenging retrogrades that's ever been. And it comes off the alignment of what you were saying. And I can feel
Right.
that too.
Yeah, it's all real.
Mm,
And it's adjusting our emotions or our ability to use our emotions, or it'll be clear, in some years because we'll be completely different people.
mm.
Um,
Yeah,
but
I had this mad thing the other day. It's happened to me twice now, only twice. It happened to me once, must have been about 10 years ago. But it happened to me just the other day. My son had come into my bed through the night, which is, I love that because it's not going to last forever. And he was cuddling up to me, and that was fine. And I went back to sleep, and I was sound asleep. And I don't know, I think it was his knee that just touched the bottom of my spine because I had my back to him, and it was like it jumped me out of my sleep. It was almost like someone had put an electric prod. That's the only way I can describe it. And it felt like this, it was like a shock. Like it almost hurt, but it didn't hurt, if you know what I mean. Like it just jumped me. I thought, what was that? I woke up the next morning. I,
that was Kundalini energy.
yeah, but it was not, it was just something I've never felt before. It was like an electric shock.
Well, yeah, that's, we're energetic beings. We come from elect electricity is everything. Not the electricity we plug a toaster into. Divine electricity, like a bolt of lightning. Um, so
That's what
there's a
I felt.
shock. Yeah. When you say base, anytime somebody says base of the spine, my radar turns on. And, we've got that little sliver of God, that little seed of God energy, uh, and it's at the base of our spine. And they say it's coiled. And when it wakes up, the spine wakes up and it's on the move. And that's the Kundalini energy that it wants to, we all want to return to where we came from. And so it works its way up the spine and clears out all of the crap. We've carried all these different lives, it cleanses and then it reconnects.
Mm.
And I would say that your Kundalini energy woke up, and I couldn't sleep with my wife. I couldn't sleep with her in the same bed because I'd feel my spine start to go, and then it would get really crazy, and I would go, whoa, and I'd wake up, and she'd go, I can't sleep with you. You're like an electric eel or something. And so, yeah, I mean, it's real. When you say electricity in the spine, that's Kundalini.
Mm. Yeah,
Congratulations.
and are you having any mad, do you dream, or do you just go straight to the other side when you go to sleep?
I dream, and my dreams are something way beyond dreams. They're experiences in the mental universe where we come from. That's the real universe. Um, the Kabbalah, that it's a mental universe, and we're here in this slowed down place to get control of our thoughts because it's like sending a 5-year-old off with a nuclear bomb.
Mm.
We're powerful creators, and we learn to um, chill out and think twice and not react. And then we get our pass to, you know, travel the universe. Um, but yeah, we're like little mini creators that are being groomed to be gods. And we have to get control of that energy because if we react powerfully on the other side, we're going to instantly create, you know, turmoil if it's a bad energy. We come here to realize who we really are and how powerful we are, and um, to control it. And so to answer your question, so when I go to sleep, the beast goes to sleep, and then my consciousness can rejoin that bigger version of me, I think. And there's so much going on. I mean, I have this place, this beach house on this coastal town, and it's perfect. Um, all these people live there. There's no doors on the rooms. Everybody loves each other, and everybody's young. And you go into town and you sit at these cafes, and it's not like you're eating anything, but you're gathering. It's just amazing. It just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's very exciting, isn't it? I just want more and more and more of it, really. That's my problem. And I get a little
Yeah.
frustrated sometimes when I'm slowed down by the matrix, you could say.
Yeah, they say when we are born into this life, then the soul goes to sleep or dies, and when we die here, the soul wakes up.
Yeah,
So uh, it's a it's a lot. It's good stuff to look forward to, I
yeah.
think.
Oh, Bill, I have kept you for nearly two. Oh, it has been 2 hours.
That's
I'll,
cool.
I'll let you go. I could, if you, I'd love to speak to you again in the future, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
I'll probably get off this call and go, oh my God, I didn't ask him this. Um, but if you could give one message to those who are sort of on the cusp of seeing these sides of things, and aren't sure, and 1 foot in and 1 foot out, what would you give to people? What would you say?
I would say that this is my big message now, is that if you want to understand the universe, talk to the near-death experiencers and the people who drink the shamanic medicine and the deep meditators. And the reason they have so much to give, um, so valuable, is because they've experienced themselves away from the physical world, um, body, the character, everything. They've left it behind temporarily, and you come to this realization that there is no um, self, there is no single or separate, that we are all together, and it's all one big happy, joyful existence on the other side. And to prove it to yourself, and that's really what you need, is this knowing. And the near-death experiencer knows it. The person who drinks ayahuasca and has that really rough night, they know it because they experience themselves away from themselves. But you can sit quietly in nature, raise your vibration, and do this meditation thing like you were talking about. And you can come to a knowing, and then you can come to a sort of a peaceful realization that all is always well. And whatever happens here, it's all fun. And we all go home.
It's all one big video game, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one big video game. And we go home and we laugh about it. And it's all, I mean, it sounds like it's a pie in the sky, but it's all absolutely real. And we came here to be um, ignorant and to be in fear
Yeah.
and to get control of those emotions.
Yeah. I remember Joe Dispenza using the metaphor of, remember in Mario Brothers, you'd play along, you'd go along, and then you'd bang a mushroom and find a secret door to the next level. I resonated with that. I thought, yes, that's what this is, on a spiritual ascension kind of type thing. Would you agree?
I would agree. I would agree. Yeah, and everybody's you know, experience is different, and um, we're all going to the same place, but there's really no, recipe or something like that. It's this realization, this knowing. That's the key.
Yeah. Well, I think that is a beautiful ending, Bill. I think that's a perfect way to end this. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I'll be knocking on your door in the future for sure.
Yeah, anytime.
Oh, that's
I
great.
appreciate it. It's good therapy.
Yeah, yeah. I've learned a lot from you. Thank you so much.
Likewise.